Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. She's definitely multifaceted. She is a professional stager, and I don't mean one-off here and there. Dozens of homes being staged under her watch at one time. Interior designer, and also has a store, home store, with lots of things that you can find if you're looking to change the way your home looks. We're going to talk about interior design today, that aspect of her. And she's back with us. Marty Wilkinson joins us on the program. How you doing?
I'm great, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. StageYourLife.net is your website. You're located in, if I remember correctly, Santa Fe, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah. The one thing we really didn't dig into is talking about interior design, things you can do, trends and such. We talked about staging. We had a colleague of yours in real estate who has been the benefit of some of the homes that you have staged and she's sold. Today, we're going to talk with somebody that you work very close with. Who's that?
This is Alix Ellers, and she's been with me for how long now, Alix? A couple of years, I believe?
Yeah.
Been a while, but and she has a design background and an architectural background as well, and she heads up a lot of our design and staging operation here.
I feel a lot of people who don't really know how designers work. It's like it sometimes they think it just comes natural. Well, you're creative. You come up with these things. You look at different designs. You have a thing for color, and bam, you're done. There's a lot more that goes into it in terms of the study. Let me start with you, Alix. Were you always creative? Did you when you were younger, did you like to draw, paint, that kind of thing?
Well, I had the benefit of growing up with a very creative mother. My mother was actually an interior designer as well.
Wow.
And so I grew up in that world. And I don't know if it was through osmosis, but something happened and I got the gene. And I definitely think the more you are around it, the more you absorb. But and so my background in architecture, graphics, and lighting design really helped me, grow as an interior designer.
So, and we have a little Wi-Fi issue. We got most of that. It's lagged a little bit. When you're working with Marty, are you guys working in tandem? Like, do you take on one aspect of a project, whether it's staging or interior design?
There are a lot of projects we work tandem on, and there are projects we, work individually on. It really just depends. Like Marty said, I do a lot of the staging here, but there are projects where, I really need assistance and it's a really large scope. And so, we like to double up on those. And then, Marty has a lot of interior clients that she's working on. And so if I can help in those aspects of what she's focusing on, I always try to lend myself to that. But we have such a large operation here that a lot of the time we have to divide and conquer.
Marty, I've always wondered about this. So staging is one part of your life and interior design is another part of your life. When you go to stage a home, you're putting that effort in to make it look great. You want to make sure that the colors, everything works well together. Is it a different kind of feeling? Because it usually, or can be, not permanent. They move in, everything goes out, and that's it. They put their own stuff in. Sometimes they opt to buy what you have in the home, and they just love the way it looks. Is it a different vibe when you're going in, staging, thinking that, well, this could be temporary, as opposed to now we're doing interior design where this is going to be here for a good number of years? Is there a difference?
Well, definitely. Number one, from the staging aspect, we don't generally have to work with a client per se. So we don't have to collaborate with anybody. We're going in and doing what we feel looks best in the house. As opposed to a design client, you're working very closely with them because they're going to be living with the pieces that you're putting in their home. We also, from the standpoint of, I wouldn't say we use bad quality furniture for staging, but there is a little bit of a different quality echelon for staging versus maybe something that we would purchase for, long-term use in a client's home. there's inexpensive staging furniture that we use sometimes that looks great. But it might not be something that I would use to sell to a client who's going to use something, permanently.
Have you had that situation before where somebody takes a look at the couch and like, I really love this couch. And then you have to say, well, it's not the best quality. We just used it for staging. However, we can get you this and it'll look similar, but it's, built a lot better.
Yeah, we do that a lot. Yeah. Yeah, we have. I mean, especially in upholstery. Yes, there's probably a big difference between some of the ready-made pieces that we purchase for staging versus our semi-custom companies that we order from, that we can select, the type of seating that somebody wants and the fabric that somebody wants on the sofa. So there's definitely a different quality and a different feel with that type of thing for sure.
Alix, what's your favorite room to design?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I literally walked into an office yesterday and said, I hate doing offices, but I love doing living rooms. I love bedrooms. I love spaces that have...
we're losing you on the Wi-Fi.
I know.
Spaces that have a lot of layers and you can play with color. Oh, darn.
Yeah, it's
maybe if I move to another location, it'll be more helpful.
Yeah,
Let me move to another location.
No worries.
Okay.
All good. Marty, how about you? Do you have a favorite room?
I like bedrooms a lot, actually. I think, especially because I love putting bedding together. So, we always fill a bed with lots of pillows and fun, accoutrements. So I think bedrooms are fun to design.
What's your advice to somebody in terms of what they should be feeling when the room supports them? Like, I know my bedroom. I like my bedroom. It's just something there. I like bright white. It's got a little Caribbean vibe going on there in terms of dark furniture, but, white, like a grayish whitewash floor.
Yeah, you were mentioning that.
Yeah. So I get a vibe from there. But how would you describe what somebody should be feeling in a room that, works for them?
Well, in a bedroom, if you want to feel calm and serene, that's always a great feeling in a bedroom. Living rooms and public spaces could be a lot different. You may want to feel uplifted and vibrant, and, people might want to use a lot of color and pattern. It just really depends on the client, especially. And that's why I say design is a real collaboration between client and us. And I tend to pride myself in the fact that we give a client quality, but we're also giving them what they want, not my look. I don't have a quote unquote look where I'm shoving that down a client's throat all the time. I'm giving them what they want and how they want to feel.
How do you know what to buy? So I know that you're in your store right now, which is, one of three, total of three different things you're doing: staging, interior design, and the store. They all, obviously work together. How do you know what to buy? I see we have, lots of different lamps there. You have to buy for staging purposes, for design purposes, for store purposes, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. Well, we go to a lot of markets. We go to Las Vegas. We go to High Point. There's one in Dallas. There's one in Atlanta. And we shop all of those markets for the product that we either put in our store or that we use for staging. And again, like when we're shopping at the markets, there's different price points of companies that we're buying from. So we're looking at, companies for staging that are well priced and good looking and that will work here in Santa Fe. And then there's completely other companies that we buy for our clients, and those are tending to be a little bit more high end. So
for the rest of us, and I know that you have certain sources when it comes to buying furnishings. Let's say, I'm working with you. You might suggest, okay, this is my vendor. This is we have available. It's excellent quality, et cetera, et cetera. If somebody wanted to buy something in a traditional store, do you have some that you would buy from? Like, yeah, I bought a piece there. I bought a piece there. I mean, if you don't want to drop names, that's okay. Anything stand out for you that, yeah, you can find some decent buys in there or decent either quality or design?
I don't generally shop at traditional stores like Ashley or I don't know, big box furniture stores. We happen to have, I do consignment here at my store, but we have quite a number of other consignment stores in town. And, consignment tends to be a little bit more unique because there might be one of a kind pieces, custom pieces that consignment shops get. So I scour the consignment stores sometimes here. And they're my competition, but they're friendly competitors. We all have different things, and especially with consignment, nobody's going to have exactly the same thing. So that's where I find, unique purchases and things that I could resell or I could use in my staging inventory.
What in the last couple of weeks is the most fabulous piece you came across where you looked at it and said, wow, this is really, I like this a lot. I'm going to use it, or you intentionally found it?
Gosh, I haven't been shopping in a little bit. It's funny because this time of year we get so many things back. Our market shifts a lot. So in the winter, there's less houses being staged and more houses that are coming back, that are selling, so our warehouse is completely packed, jam-packed. So I haven't actually needed to go shopping for anything recently because I don't have room.
And you probably already have it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, really, we can barely move through the warehouse right now.
Wow. So. Can somebody, just a regular person, if they're shopping in your store, go through your warehouse, or would they say, yeah, I'm looking for a lamp that's got a teal base to it, and that, they describe it, and you say, wait, we might even have that. Let me go take a look for you.
Well, that happens pretty often. People come shopping in the store, and they do exactly that. They're like, I'm looking for, a 36-inch round table that's, brown and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you know what? Come back in the warehouse and let me show you something, because we'll have something that might work. And we escort people into the warehouse because it's a working warehouse, sure. With guys and ladders and people moving about. But we shop our warehouse quite frequently with clients, and they love it. They love going back there. They feel so special to be able to get back there because it's like a treasure trove, of things. It's amazing.
How do you keep track of all that stuff?
It's all up here in my head. We have an inventory system that when we get things in and they get delivered, we enter them in the system and they get inventoried. But myself, and unfortunately, I guess we lost Alix, but we both have an intimate knowledge of our warehouse and what we have. And so she and I, when we work together on jobs, we kind of mind meld, and, we kind of know exactly where something is in the warehouse. And I'm like, go down the aisle, second, shelf on the left, third row up is the chair that I'm talking about.
Wow.
Like if I'm not here. So
do you have all the items in the same spot? So what do I mean by that? All the lamps are in this spot. All the couches are over here. All the tables might be over here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a definite method to our madness because, you need to be well organized so that it's easier to pick for a job. So yes, sure. We've got a upholstery section. We've got rugs in one section, lamps in one section, case goods in a section, beds in a section. So yeah, we definitely have to do that. So it makes it a lot easier. And our movers are great too, because when they bring stuff back, they put things back so well, very organized.
What advice would you have for somebody, let's say, I think we talked about couches once before, but let's say somebody's buying whatever piece it might be, and your advice to them of what to look out for, whether it's it could be a table. I mean, maybe there's more stuff on the couch I think I heard you say once that you want to make sure if it's a couch that you don't just do the sit test, but there's a certain, some people are taller, so they have to sit, things have to be in a certain spot. Any advice if somebody's looking to buy stuff?
Well, like you said, I think it depends on the piece that you're looking for. Yes, a sofa is going to range in depth and in height and in the sit quality, whether it be a real soft sit or a firm sit. And it's all a matter of individual preference. When we interview with a client first meeting, we get a good feel for how, the direction that a client wants to go. And usually it's either, they're going in a contemporary direction or a traditional direction. So that's the key to kind of start showing them pieces and items that are going to fit within, the parameters of what they're looking for. And then they're going to have a budget. And so when they give us a budget, if they can, a lot of times people are like, I don't have a budget. And that doesn't mean they can spend anything, but, when they have a budget, then that's going to be an indicator of what we're going to be showing them and what will fit within their budget overall.
When you have to stage a home, so let's say the real estate mentioned it to the homeowner said, yeah, you know what, that sounds reasonable. Let's do that. They hire you. Take us through the process. I don't think we even dug into that, how that works. You go there, I guess you have to observe, kind of figure it all out. Every home is different. Some of this has to stay, some of this doesn't, or do you clear everything out and start fresh?
Alix is back. Do you want to answer that? Is she?
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, as long as my voice isn't lagging, I'm happy to answer.
No, it's perfect.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So we typically like to meet with the client, whether that's the homeowner or the realtor to begin with, and walk through the home because we get to, absorb the details of it. We take photos, we write lists. And that's, after that piece is when we come back to the warehouse and begin to plan for the home. I think there's this misconception that we sit down and draw plans and do furniture layouts for every space, but staging is a fast-paced job. And so luckily, Marty and I are both very visual people, and we can kind of build these spaces in our heads. And that's what we do. We go through our warehouse, and it's sort of like this. I think of it sometimes like a little bit of a fairy tale where you're like, I would like one of these and maybe two of those. And we put together these spaces doing that. And I don't know, for me, I'm able to grab these pieces and build the house out in my head like that. I wish there was more rhyme or reason to it, but that's just sort of how it works. And then there's obviously the paperwork part of it where we do, we offer our clients, options sometimes if they want to stage the full home or parts of the home and, all those pieces.
So we said before that, it's kind of cool that you don't have that interaction so much with the homeowner when you're staging, but how much do you have? Are there times where they say, I want to see what it's going to look like or show me before you stage it because it's my home and et cetera, et cetera. Does that happen? And if so, how often does it happen?
It doesn't
happen right now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, we do have one client that's like that right now.
Right. It doesn't happen as often as you would think, though.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for the most part, people really trust us. And that is a huge benefit because it makes, it allows us to put these spaces together that end up being really seamless and beautiful. And the client is always happy. And if they do want a lot of say, we absolutely will work with them and we'll put together like concept or mood boards that will help them visualize what their space could look like with what we have.
See, everybody's different, but my thinking would be, you guys are the professionals. I want to sell my house. Do whatever you got to do, to get it done. I throw the ball to you, unless there's a piece in the house that somebody doesn't want to move out at this time until they're ready to move. Let's say it's a curio cabinet and they've got, heirlooms in there and they just want to leave it be, then you have to obviously work around that. And I'm sure that, has that come up where somebody's, this has to stay and you have to work around it?
Yeah, absolutely. That happens all the time. Another nice part of our business is, like Marty mentioned, is we do take consignment. And so if the homeowner really wants to keep a piece there, and if it's a piece that we could then take in on consignment once the home sells, that's a really nice option for them, because they don't have to go through the hassle of moving something like that. That could be fragile or, extremely large. We take that burden off their hands.
Wow. Learned a lot today. I never even considered consignment. Didn't even pop in my head. I didn't even know. Wow. You obviously, on the design portion of things, can do that virtually if somebody has a need for that and says, hey, you know what? I'm vibing with them. I'd like them to take a look at what I have. Marty, what's the best way somebody to find you? What's your website?
It's called stageyourlife.net, all one word, and shows our projects, and it talks a little bit about our retail store and our consignment aspect. So, yeah, stageyourlife.net.
You guys got to do a reality show.
We've talked about that.
I'm feeling it.
Some cameras can follow us around.
Right. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm fascinated. I had no idea. You think staging, it's a one-off here, there, whatever. To do, last count, I think you said 54 were in progress at the same time. I don't know if we're at that number right now, heading into the holidays, but mind-boggling. I can't even how do you keep track of all that stuff? The materials, everything, just amazing. And then you have a store too. Marty and Alix, thank you so much for being here. Learned a lot and super cool what you guys do. Really is. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you. It was a pleasure.
Take
care.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.